Hello, my conscious evolutionaries. Welcome back. I guess I'm back. It's been a really long time since I made anything for YouTube that was in a long format. So, yeah, this is something new I want to try. This is supposed to be something that I don't think you find a lot on here. So I have absolutely no idea if it's going to go over well or not. But this is basically going to be a new concept that I want to try out at least a few times. And I'm calling it Fika with EsRa. And yeah, I guess I'll just explain what that is. For those of you who already know me, you probably know that I moved from Belgium to Sweden about 2.5 years ago. And Fika is something very, very Swedish. If you come here, I think it was one of the first concepts that you learn, which translates basically into coffee, which then becomes a very funny for me because I absolutely don't drink coffee. But it's more of how do you say this? It's not the name for coffee, it's the name for drinking coffee with people. Like you get together and you have Fika. For most people, this means they will drink coffee and have something sweet to go along with it, like a little cake or pie or something. But it's obviously not obligatory to drink coffee with this, so I brought some tea because I'm a big fan of all types of herbal teas. And yeah, the idea is, before I forget, a little bit of chocolate. Of course, no Fika without anything sweet. And since I am not eating any gluten or lactose at the moment, there wasn't that much choice. And from all the preparations I've done, that was kind of a last minute thought. But you can never go wrong with a little dark chocolate, in my opinion. So that's what I brought for my Fika with you guys today. And the whole point of these videos is to have some quiet time, to have some conversation, to think about some things. Because I don't know, I kind of feel a lack of that. I've been struggling with the social media because it's all of these algorithms and it's faster and faster and faster and faster and more dopamine, more dopamine, more dopamine, and everything is adjusted to that. So I have absolutely no idea if this will go anywhere. But my intention is just to create a space where I can hold some space for you guys, because I've also been through a big process. I've evolved a lot as Spirit Guide Inc. and as a therapist that I am. And one of the bigger things that I've noticed that does a world of good for people is just a little bit of this space holding, just a little bit of this connection, just a little bit of the feeling of that connection and of being heard, and also just the energy of the space that I create as I do that. So I am going to try to do that. I know you cannot really talk back to me, but feel free to do so. Feel free to talk to your screen. It's absolutely fine. You're not crazy. But yeah, it's something I want to try to hold a little space while I talk to you guys. And hopefully in time you can send me in some questions. Maybe over time I can do this live. I don't really know where this is going to go, but today I wanted to take you to one of the most beautiful spots in my area, which is here one of the highest cliffs around the lake. It's kind of on the opposite side of the lake that I live. I don't live directly on the lake, but very, very close to it, and it's one of the most beautiful spaces up here. It's a little campsite. I created a little bit of footage as I was setting up as I arrived here, so I hope maybe I can montage this in for you guys so you can see, but at least it is an amazing view that we have here. I also got a little campfire going for the coziness of it all, because that's something that you can just find here in Sweden. It's one of the really great things here. You have like, yeah, you'll see it's really like this little cabin, and you can come up here for camping, and they just have put all kinds of stuff that you can need to barbecue. There is wood here, anything that you might need. So I thought for our first encounter back, I would try to make it as cozy as possible, and yeah, get a little fire going, and of course grab yourself some Fika, I would say. Try not to spill, because it was pretty full when I closed it. Here we go. I also hope that the light and the sound is going to be okay, because I tried to position the camera several different angles. This is the one that I ended up with, so you can see the fire at least a little bit and get a little bit of the feel of the cabin, but I couldn't be closer because then the shade makes me completely dark. So we're doing this on natural sunlight, so as the sun shifts, I don't know what's going to happen. And also I tried my external cameras to put them on my iPhone so I could have like the lapel microphone as I did in the past, but the extender like that I got to go from like lightning to a 3.5 connection, which is like the standard headphone connection, it's for headphones and not for microphones that I have. So we're going to have to do this on the regular microphone of my camera, I guess, or of my iPhone. It is right now. I thought I invest a little bit in that because it's so much easier to make little videos and to connect to you guys. Yeah, the thing I had before, it really didn't work as I hoped it would. So I hope that this will make it a lot more easier to connect with you guys, and I also hope the smoke is not ruining the entire video. But I guess it is what it is. And that's the whole point of these little videos. It's about just taking some time to be, and to be here and hold the space, but also for me to practice a little bit more. Because, as I said, I'm calling this Fika with EsRa. And a lot of people are going to go like, what? What are you talking about? Your name is Steffi. Yes, my name is Steffi, absolutely. And it's just that over these past months, the name EsRa is been coming through in more ways than one. And I'm gonna drink a little, because this is not the easiest topic for me to talk about. Because if you know me a little bit, I call myself Spirit Guide Inc. But I struggle with the spirit part, and I like to keep the emphasis on the ink part. which is a pun on incorporated and incarnated, so in the body, in the flesh, because that's everything I do. I try to help people become fully embodied human beings, and not to take them into some kind of spiritual astral plane where they should transcend their humanness. No, for me, it's all about how you actually become that human being that you're meant to be. And this name EsRa has been kind of coming through as this word to be the name of Spirit Guide Inc. And more, it's like the thing that I've been gone for here a while, so I don't know if I've talked about this on YouTube. But it's this transition where we go from the story that we've been born into to the story that we're meant to live, from this old age into this new age. And everything I do is to help people who want to help create the new age transcend all their old patterns that keep them stuck in the old age, that keep them stuck. They always have done a lot of work already. They know a lot of things about how the spiritual community teaches things, and I've tried a lot of healing, but usually they kind of hit a wall that they cannot really get past because a big part of the embodiment lacks, and a big part of the understanding of the spiritual concepts lacks. So this is kind of where I come in, and from the understanding that I've gained, Steffi was the person that I was born into. It's the old story, and EsRa will be the new story. It will be the person I meant to become, and as more as I can embody being Spirit Guide Inc. fully more and more each day, that will become my new name. Now, don't ask me if this is going to become something official or how it's going to work. I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea when this is going to change. And it's quite funny because, at some point, I think about 3 years ago, I was like, oh, what will I do for my business? Will I create, I don't know, a special name, something? And I actually decided just go with my first name, last name. My website at this moment is just so first name, last name, this is me. And it felt necessary at the time to fully claim that, to I guess this is the story I chose. This is what I opted into. Let me embrace it. But I guess by doing so, that's the only way to eventually start to transcend these things. So there is going to be a transition into EsRa Spirit Guide Inc. more. I don't know how that's going to go, but it's my intention as I talk to you guys. Oh, the wood is running away. Oh, yeah. You stay right over here. What was I saying? I was talking about the name and the name transition. That much I remember. Yeah, exactly. I guess this is a prime example of why I'm doing this and how I'm practicing this. Because it is difficult to bring in that new embodiment constantly. There's still a bunch of old patterns that get triggered, that get activated, that, people will think you're absolutely crazy. And nobody's going to be interested in this. And so all of these things are things for me as well to just practice and embody and get better at, and just like every other human being on this planet, train myself into what I want to become good at. So these videos will be part of my own personal training, but I believe very, very much in a win-win-win plus and approach. So I can train myself while holding space for you guys, while hopefully sharing some things that can also be interesting for you, and just have a good time and then enjoy a little space, a little quiet, where we don't really have to do anything, because I already can catch myself into talking quite fast again. So this is going to be a practice in slowing down, in presence, because that's also one of the things I've noticed that's the hardest for people who come to me, people who find me. They've done so much, but there's so much in the doing, in the healing, in the saving others. Whereas the answer really is in the learning to be, learning to hold space, really going into your own blockages and repressed emotions and into all those darker parts. Feel all those things we really don't want to feel. And in order for us to do that, we just have to be able to sit with ourselves and hold space for ourselves and learn that it's okay, that that's actually a very valuable practice. And most people run away from it. So this is also a way to low-key start doing that without this whole big I need to be so spiritual, I need to be enlightened. No, just sit with me, have a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you prefer, and treat yourself to something that you like. For once, there doesn't need to be a rush. Nothing needs to happen. You just have permission to have some time for yourself. Let me see if I can move a little bit, because the sun is going behind the tree. It's so beautiful out here. So peaceful. We're getting very deep into autumn right now. So winter really won't be far off. There's still quite a few leaves on the birch tree here. I don't know if you can see. There are quite a few who still have leaves, but there's also quite a few that are getting really naked, especially during the last 2 days. One of my tree friends who lives next to our house, next to our bedroom window, he's the first thing I see in the morning when we open the curtain. And he's like, is it called chestnut? Like a wild chestnut? I think that's what it's called in English. I'm not sure. I would have to check. But yeah, and they have like the really spooky kind of branches when they're bald, when they lose their leaves. And I was thinking, yeah, he'll probably be in his Halloween costume naked by that time, but he's lost basically everything he still had left in one day. It froze, and then there was a lot of wind, and he's completely naked now. Just the chestnuts. Some of the chestnuts are still in there. I hope that's the right word. But yeah, it's starting to go fast. There are nights when it's already slightly freezing. But today was such a beautiful day, so I didn't want to spend like the whole... I don't know how to sit so you can still see me, so I still have a little light on my face. But yeah, a little bit of the outside. And now there's all smoke. Jesus, I'm not sure this was the best idea, but well, we gave it a try. It's fun though. I like it. I like sitting next to the fire. I guess in winter I'll just film a lot next to my stove and you can also see the fire. I've always been fascinated by flames. And I don't think that'll change when my name changes. I think that's something that's pretty fundamental for me. But yeah, if you watch this video and you're happy that we can connect again in this way, make sure to leave me a little comment and just let me know how you've been doing. Let me know what your struggles are these days, and if there's anything that I can maybe help you with, that I can hold space for, that I can talk about that might help you. It would be my honor to do that and to help with that. And if you like a little bit more updates from me, the thing that I have gotten quite consistent with is a weekly newsletter. And yeah, that basically was the first thing. This is, I hope, going to be my second thing that I can, shop with consistently, and it's just there for everyone for free to find some support in that. And newsletters, I talk a little bit about the astrology that I study, because I've started noticing, and it's been going on for a while, with everything getting so separated and with everything going on in the world, that the people that are my people, that connect to me, that I'm here to serve, they really are not that interested anymore in all of the craziness that's going out there, and they're just interested in helping to create the new. But it's hard to interpret the astrology for that, and most of the interpretations that you will find is still for people who are, I don't know, for lack of a better word, still in the system, either on one side or the other, which really is not that different. But for people who really have come to this new place, there is not so much out there. I do like the Serious Joy episodes that they put out. It's called Namaste Today, I think, but they're also going to change the name really soon. So I do like them. They're a little bit high on the angelic realms and the spiritual realms for my liking sometimes, but they're the only ones who really make astrology for people who are building the new. They're literally they're the only ones I found, and they're actually any good. I I love Leo King. I've always loved Leo King. I will always watch his videos for the full and the new moon that he's been still putting out there for a long time. And you know, he's just had some transition in his business as well. So he started to put out his sun sign horoscopes for the whole week again. And I started watching them, but it was really strange, and I started to realize that for a very, very long time. That what his job really is to try to wake people up. He's just really like, I'm just gonna shake you until you open your eyes. And so I always knew he was so good at what he does, but to me, like, I was always in a panic, and I was always like, did I do something wrong? Oh no. Because he's really coming from that standpoint where he's like trying to shake you and wake you up. But then if you're already on the other side, you're kind of like, it's not that the astrology doesn't apply to you anymore, but like the perspective just becomes a little different. And he acknowledged that also. Because he's like, I make horoscopes for like the collective, and I'm a mundane astrologer and all of those things. So he was like, I don't really know how to do that anymore, because there's this big difference coming up. But I guess, and I think it's the right choice for him, because that's what he's really good at. He's still like trying to wake people up, and I'm here just like, well, if you've woken up and you have absolutely no idea where to turn, and you've tried all of this other stuff, but somehow it's not really connecting, then it's like, okay, welcome. I will tell you how it goes. I will show you. I will tell you everything that's holding you back and how we get from there to where you want to be. But yeah, it's just really hard to get updates for that, because it's not like you're not influenced by it anymore. It's just works a little different, and the other ones kind of make you feel like either you're doing something wrong, or it doesn't apply to you anymore, or just, yeah, or it's really, really far out there, very, very spiritual, and not so super grounded. And also it takes quite a lot of time to study it and to really start to understand it. So as that's a little bit of a hobby of mine and I do it anyways, I just try to share a little bit of that in my weekly newsletter, and also some updates about me and what we're doing and how our projects are going. Because as much as I love this place, as beautiful as it is out here, our dream is still to buy our own place that hopefully will have an equally beautiful view, but that really can serve as a sanctuary where people then also can come in real life, and we're not just limited to connecting online, but to have this real life place that's completely devoted into transitioning from the old in the new and starting to really build the new and help people really find that space in themselves, and to find a way just to find that harmony with ourselves, with each other, with the nature around us. Yeah, and then when I talk about that, I need to take a little pause and to remind myself that it's okay, that we're not there yet. But we will. We will. Let's see. Because we've been only doing half of Fika right now. A little treat every once in a while. pet can also be self-loving. I'm not sure how this is going to look when I try to eat this on camera. And nice, what's that called? A flash of self-awareness and of vanity. Because I'm a very big chocoholic, and I always end up also with chocolate on my face. And biting this. So I'm just gonna try to put this in my mouth at once and see how that goes. I guess that went over pretty smoothly. I also have not given absolutely any idea or any thought about how long I would want to make these videos. I do enjoy it right now. I enjoy it here. I enjoy talking to you guys. It's so nice out here. I thought there would be a lot more yawning and sighing. I thought it would cause me a lot more stress to do this, and it would be like harder to practice it, to constantly come back to myself. Which has been my practice for the last weeks constantly. I guess I need a lot of cleansing. I tried a few setups for the camera, and then the wind was blowing that way, so I moved everything here, but now I guess it changed its mind. But I was saying, yeah, it's been like my main practice to constantly come back to myself and to really bring all of this in deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper myself. And it's also been the most exhausting practice I think I've ever done. It feels like I can sleep and sleep and keep on sleeping. I can get things done during the day, that's not a problem, but by the time evening comes, I like, counting down the hours before I can go to sleep, and I'm sleeping like 10 hours at night, and okay to get up, but I could make it easily 12, but it's this constant. Every time I come back and it goes deeper and deeper, it's also a bunch of old emotions that are being released. And that somehow is so tiring. It's costing so much energy to do that over and over and over again. And it's like a lot of yawning and a lot of sighing and a lot of and after a few hours you really start to like feel it. It's like, oh, I could really use a nap. I hope you don't get too bored with me, but I'm really enjoying myself, and I still have a cup of tea left, so I still feel like hanging out a bit more. It is a hard practice in the beginning to constantly bring yourself back, and it is quite tiring and it asks a lot of energy. But you know, just in the last days I started noticing that now when I start to not be in that space, that's becoming the uncomfortable place to be. So my system is kind of adjusting. Excuse me. My system is kind of adjusting to, no, I want to be here. I want to be with myself. I want to stay connected. So now when I tend not to be, or there are so many levels, you know, it's like it feels like it can go down forever almost. But there is this level of, I guess, disconnection that is now starting to become uncomfortable, which has been a level that I functioned on for so long. So I'm really happy about that. I really consider it a good thing. I consider it worth all the effort. So that's just me saying, if you try this, don't beat yourself up that you're having a hard time with it, because it is hard and it asks a lot of energy. And so many things will come up. And I've not met many people who are capable to really hold space for that and to deal with that. Because, you know, one of the biggest problems that I've noticed in people is that we have very little idea of what self-love actually is, and how to be self-loving with ourselves, and how to actually be a good, loving, responsible adult parent to ourselves. Because when we go on this journey and we have to heal all of our emotional wounds and all of our trauma, we have to really go in there. We have to deal with all of these inner child parts of ourselves that have been trapped there for most of our life. And the reason they got trapped there is because they didn't have the parent they needed. They didn't have the adult they needed at that time. Because the difference between a bad experience and a trauma is just that you couldn't process the emotions. You can have a bad experience and have the support that you need so that you can process all the emotions that go along with that bad experience. But if you do not have that and you do not have the skills to process these emotions, that's when it turns into a trauma. And that's what gets trapped into our system. And that then creates so many problems for us down the line. So the only way for us to heal that is to really become the parent you needed. And it's not easy. It's really not easy. That's quite humbling. But it's something I believe anyone can learn. And that's what I plan to teach. One of the things that I plan to teach in the inner sanctum. Our fire is once again running away. But yeah, that's the other thing that I'm trying to wrap my head around right now, because I've been saying this for quite a long time. And I've been wanting to create something online, but I've always had a really hard time doing so because so much of my work is intuitive and it's do what's necessary in the moment. So I always went like, but how on earth do I make that into something that anyone can watch without me knowing what exactly is going on for them at that moment. And also, I really couldn't get out of me having to make it for everyone. So now that I've reached this point where I'm really starting to understand who I'm making it for and have this deeper connection into myself. It's about really, really breaking it down to the smallest steps. That much I understand. And now I still need to figure out how to practically do that. And once again, I see I'm in the dark here, but the sun is behind the tree, so I don't really think, or I really have to move. And I'm too lazy to move, and I guess it'll come behind that tree in a little while. Maybe we can have a little bit more chocolate in the meantime. I'm like a hamster right now. I really hope this video is going to be watchable and possibly enjoyed by a few people. It was lovely to hear though, as during the challenge there have been some people who were following my work for quite a while. And I was like, oh, we hope to see some videos of you. So you request, I try to deliver. So I hope you like it, and it's just a first version, a trial, and we'll learn with each one that we do. And if you're new here and you haven't heard about the challenge, I've been doing a one-on-one challenge for people who struggle with self-sabotage. So that means that you get to do 3 sessions with me completely free. And if that is something that interests you, then you can reach out to me and I'll send you the link where you can sign up. It's been really fun and people find it very enlightening how it actually works and what you can actually do to make sure that it's no longer in charge of your life, but you get back in charge of your life. So for people who are interested in that, I have taken it down from the advertisement because I am in a little bit of a re-evaluation for it. I am remaking it into something else in the future, but just in case, you know, some people join in here and somebody is there like, oh shit, yeah, I really want to deal with that and understand that and make sure that that's not something that messes up my life any further. You're welcome. Just reach out to me. I'm really easy to reach. Just go check in the comments below. There will be many ways for you to connect with me. It is starting to feel like it's getting about time to round this up. I guess we're almost nearing an hour, so yeah, I guess we'll see. An hour to ourselves seems like a nice thing and not a exuberant luxury. It is for most people though. That's the sad thing about where we are today. No more time for anything, and everything has to go super fast. But hey, that's, I guess, what this is for us to have a moment to slow down. I'm gonna try to make this once a week, and I hope that you can enjoy it. And if you do, just leave a little comment. If you have any requests, put them in there. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you like this, make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Maybe by some miracle we make it through the algorithm. That's quite funny. I'll have to investigate on whether or not that was based upon the fact that I still have an old pattern that doesn't believe things will work out, or that what I do can't be successful, or if that was just really based on how the algorithms work. Maybe a little bit of both. Usually is. I guess I know what I'll be looking into between now and the next time that I see you. Also not sure how to end this video. What do you know? What do you know? Maybe I should just disappear and smoke. Wouldn't that be funny? That's nice. I've been so eager to catch up on sharing with you guys that I really did not take a lot of time to really fully zoom into it. I can feel now if I take a little time to really look into the camera and to tap into the field. That there's a lot to help release resistances that can use some loosening and releasing. I'll take a few more minutes for that. And make a little note to myself to spread that a little more in the future videos. It's been wonderful to connect with you guys again. If you feel like someone else could benefit from this video, share it with them. It is here to serve people, to help them, to give them this little hour of space in a very casual, relaxed way. Just connect, yet don't feel that you're alone by yourself. A little bit of energetic support in doing so, coming into this beautiful and calm space. you enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully see you next week. Bye.